Welcome to all newcomers and already ardent fans of the Mu Online universe. Bless Universe is speaking.
Nice.
One of the most experienced, popular and stable projects of the Mu Online universe. Mu Online is one of the first MMO RPG games. Its official release date is 2001, but I am sure that even now many of you who watches this video are not familiar with this universe. In this regard, I am glad to announce for you the beginning of series of video guides for completely new players, where we will be talking about Mu Online from the very beginning to the end. So by registering on our project and entering the name, you will be given a choice of 5 classes. Dark Knight, Blade Knight or Blade Master, or how people call it, DK. Blade Master is a melee fighter or a tank, a character who receives the most protective characteristics and health, who loves to fight and absorb damage. This class is suitable for capturing strategic points and holding them. He is very dependent on equipment that is difficult to get. But as a plus, benefits from it more than others. Among the difficulties, more difficult leveling and still the same dependence on good equipment and characteristics. Next class on the list is probably one of the easiest to level up now. Dark Wizard, Soul Master or Grand Master, or how people call it, DW. A spellcaster who uses the power of elements and has a very large number of attack spells in his arsenal. He is very mobile, which helps him to break the distance from the opponent and resume attacks from the more convenient positions. He is used both as a character holding a position and as a main source of damage for your team in PvP battles. Strength, mobility, more comfortable leveling, versatility, but one of the lightest armored characters in the game, with a small amount of health. Third class and probably most popular in the early game is Elf.
Thank you so much for visiting us today.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So it's AE or EE, which means Agility Elf or Energy Elf. We will be talking about it later. Elf is a long-range marksman who used both bows and crossbows, and is not as dependent on stats as most other classes. Which actually helps her a lot in the early stages of the game when competing for rare monsters and getting good loot. In addition to bows and crossbows, the elf can be played in a support role, using wands and shields to buff, heal and restore shields of her allies. Support is one of the most important parts of a good and balanced group. A knowledgeable support elf can be the difference between your victory in group battles, which occur frequently. But the damage of an attacking elf, as players call it AE or Agility Elf, should not be underestimated. You simply may not be able to reach some of them. The strength, as you understand, are variability, damage, control, support, and low dependence on characteristics, and the most important, demand, weaknesses. Difficult leveling, if compared with Wizard, and also a small amount of health and protection. These were 3 classes that you can play from the start. Now there are 2 special classes that open at level 180 and the last one at level 220 of your initial characters. They actually receive more characteristics per level and resets. So basically you will first have to level up the base characters to be able to create one of these classes. So okay, MG or Magic Gladiator, or maybe Duel Master. A versatile fighter who mastered both an art of blade and secrets of magic. The Gladiator is a character that deals damage in every possible way. He has at his disposal almost all spells of Dark Wizard with the exception of few unique ones, which allows him to take advantage of the mass spells for leveling and various types of debuffs that are available to the wizard, as well as the power attacks available to the Dark Knight and even a little more. The Magic Gladiator personifies an assassin class. On our server, he has the ability to quickly break the distance with the opponents and deliver fatal blows, which helps him to catch up with the two classes listed above, DW and Elf, and caused a lot of problems. In addition to that, if you haven't kept up with your allies and cannot kill enemies as efficiently as others yet, you will always find yourself useful to debuff enemies with your spells. The Magic Gladiator is the only class that does not have buff for his allies, but he has many more debuff for his enemies. Moving across the battlefield with lightning speed, cutting off the armor of your enemies, you will allow your allies to deliver crushing blows, leading your comrades to victory. And in attack and equipment, also known as ancient items in common parlance, you will become a formidable killer who strikes the first blow. So speaking about pluses, easy leveling, versatility, a large number of abilities and active playstyle. And as we said earlier, additional stat points for leveling and reset. Weaknesses. Magic Gladiator relies heavily on the buffs of his allies, and he is much less formidable force alone, revealing his strength in team battles. Don't get me wrong, he is still strong alone, but not as strong as with ally buffs. And the last in order, but not in terms of interests, class is DL, aka Dark Lord. A class that differs from most in that he can use unique pets to become stronger. The Dark Lord or Lord Emperor is an extremely damage-dealing character. In fact, probably the character with the highest amount of damage in the game. But as is usually the case, he pays for this in survivability. High damage and long combat distance allow the Lord to push through enemy lines solely with combat power. In addition to himself, the Dark Lord can raise the levels of his pets, which are indispensable to him at different stages of the game. The horse is an integral part of this character and his best friend. You will need to create it using few ingredients in the pet manager, and then enjoy the company of your faithful friend, who among other things as friend gives you an additional ability, increase your running speed, increases the distance of your attacks and reduce the damage incoming to you. The higher level of the horse, the more damage absorption it provides. Your second pet will be Raven. He will be your irreplaceable companion at the start of the game, helping you to destroy the monsters around you while you are still struggling with that task. In the future, it will be replaced by a shield, which significantly increases your defensive characteristics and will allow you to focus on your own damage, if you have a sufficient number of characteristics. The Dark Lord as a Dark Knight is highly dependent on his characteristics and the items that you will wear, so they are shining in the latest stage of the game and in the team battles. Huge attack speed and high damage per second makes the Lord the main damage dealer of his group, especially against bosses. Strength. As I was saying before, high damage, irreplaceable pets, long attack range, additional characteristics for level and reset, and of course, cool car. Weaknesses. Difficult leveling, weak early game, small amount of health and defensive characteristics, dependence on equipment and your teammates. My friends, each class is unique in its own way and contributes to the multi-faced and deep universe of Mu Online. Team battlefields, castle captures, contested territories, guild wars, high competition events, quests, rewards, bosses, difficult leveling of items, adaptability to both an active playstyle and a passive one for busier people. A busy schedule of events and a huge number of guilds from different countries. We will tell you in detail about every aspect of this wonderful game in our future videos and streams. Welcome to Bless Universe.
Nice.
This is the main official preview now from you, Bless. I'm just joking. Or am I?